What's up guys, it's Project and here it is, my lucky spear build that I used to get all the way to floor 150 easily, balancing both power and luck to do much better than most luck builds for damage, all while giving you more drops than a normal build can so you can farm the abyss hassle-free and rack up on droplets and defile gear, or crack Notrico cups from farming Marabashi, as well as plenty of divines and Ethereals for disassembling to gain materials for forging stuff to defile. The build uses the new spear skill Wild Spear to pretty much mow down anything and everything that doesn't inflict me with an attack debuff. It's a 6 skill, and while initially it seemed weak, as with everything, once I got all the gear pieces and stats in order, damage became amazing for what this build is, and as I mentioned in my community page on my channel, this is part 1 of 2 builds I plan to make. This is the luck variant for farming and gathering stuff, and the next build, my final build I'll be making, is all about damage output, so look forward to that after this. Now this build is slightly incomplete as I couldn't find a good Yasukani or charm in general, as there's new star effects with ethereal item drop rate AA-. But for what I have, I notice an increase in drops, and I always get at least 1 droplet of Decay each boss, occasionally 2. More so, I always get an ethereal or defiled item per boss, where I noticed before using my Ryu Hayabusa build to 450, I sometimes only got divines and sometimes never got droplets at all. I'm now sitting on 73 plus droplets from doing floors 80 to 150 and used about 12 or so in the process, so I definitely gained a few extras. Moving to the setup, there was quite a few new luck sets added last DLC, and after going over them, I decided to use this setup, Unifier of the Warring States, as it provided decent luck but also decent damage for a low amount of pieces. You gain increased luck whenever you absorb Ermita, which stacks with Luckbringer Talisman, and you also gain luck from being in critical, which obviously you would be to take advantage of living weapons, best in everything. And on top of that, you also get more damage from luck, which seems to be about 10 to 12% with everything up, which isn't bad for one more piece added. So overall, I'd argue this set is the best luck set, as the others like Ninigi, its buffs are most likely reset after clearing a floor in the Abyss, or Kekona, not increasing your luck outside of the Abyss. So for the sake of time, I'll cover and compare those in the video description instead of here if you want my opinion on them, but I think this is the best set for luck, with some damage too. I have about 550 luck total, yet I have a huge amount of damage, whereas a pure luck everything build would be much weaker. I always go by my old belief for this game, efficiency and speed over everything else. If I can kill faster than you, then I automatically get more drops than you. If I can kill 4 bosses in the same time you can kill 2, then I'm doing better and gaining more than you. And I think I struck the perfect balance with this setup, which, speaking of damage, I toss in Fanatic for the extra deeps, and my secondary set is one that aims to increase droplets drop rate. Funashide Hime set gives a nice 22% item drop rate, and total I have near 80% item drop rate, which could be pushed to 100% if you had a charm with item drop rate using live weapon, while also keeping luck using live weapon, which I don't have. For helmets, I chose Ogress mask for the extra fire damage, and I defiled it into Kush by leaving on floor 37 in the Abyss, the same for the spear. Graces you get from the Abyss are tied to the floor. This is my theory and some others too, and the evidence points to it being true. Each floor gives a certain bunch of sets where you'll mostly only obtain those 4 or 5 or so sets from that floor, and most likely no others. Floor 37 gave Futsunushi mostly, but also Izanagi and Kushinada, I believe. Meanwhile, floor 36 gave mostly older sets like Susanoo and Amaterasu. So to get this Kush 5-piece set, you need to start at floor 34, defile your gear before beating anything, then beat all the bosses up to and including floor 37, and then leave the Abyss on floor 37. Save scumming on the last floor before beating the boss will allow you to retry the run if you don't get the sets you want after leaving. This is how I got the spear with Star Effect Wild Spear to become Kush. If you don't do this, then prepare for a huge grind. What I did was forge multiple spears with the star effect, about 3 of them, then try the method I mentioned, and reset till I got a Kush one, which took about 2 resets, so super fast. I recommend defiling your gear in separate sets at a time. Example, one run I only did it for spears, and after I got that I started a run from the beginning, but this time for ranged weapons, and then finally for the helmet. The more stuff you can defile, the more chances you'll get of them turning out the way you want. So that's just a quick explanation of the defile process that I'll never mention again. Moving on to the weapon, I chose this spear, Kotaimatsu, simply because of the effects. Wild Spear tends to go in a circle occasionally, and if you blind a big yokai like the Ninetales, you can spin in circles as it misses you, since blinding makes the enemy target the last spot you were in when it decided to attack, meaning they won't auto-track you like normal. Although cool, ultimately you can use any spear as long as you can have Kush on it. You want Star Effect Wild Spear on it, obviously, and that's pretty much it. The rest of the stats are standards, CCD, CTA, and Fam Damn. Your CTA should be the stat you put into the most stat-wise. For range, you want Cannon as your main. Again, defile about a dozen or half a dozen, and you should get 1 or 2 Kush on a floor of 37. Get fire damage on it, and then pretty much as much equipment and item drop rate as possible. I like item drop rate human since I generally don't want their sets, so I give equipment to yokai instead. Weight damage bonus since we're heavy armor mostly and past 30.1 weight. Now for armor, you want luck on everything. This is a luck build after all, so we want as much as possible. And even without attack on armor, my damage is more than fine, so you can afford to have all luck instead. But since helmet can reforge luck, you can have attack on it, and the same for gloves. Star effect increase attack enemy out of ki is occasionally nice since you can eat ki from humans pretty fast, and you gain a nice damage boost once they're out of ki. And then of course, bonus Amrita attack. For chest, temper on item and equipment drop rate 20%. It's the only way to get this much easily. If you don't see it in the temper table, use an Umbra Sight to reset the tables and keep doing that until they show up. You also want weight reduction as the sets we use are super heavy, and having weight reduction saves a lot of points so you don't have to waste them on stamina. For gloves, you want close combat attack increase and attack. The rest is all drop rate stuff. For pants, you want tenacity on them to not die from Leeching Talisman. Lower defense enemy scorch is also nice to have, as Wild Spear with Kato does a lot of constant fire damage where almost anything becomes scorched eventually. And lastly, boots, you want increase attack critical, which gives you a short attack boost when you reach critical. Perfect for the Abyss boss rush where once activated you quickly go in and slay the bosses. Also get bonus purification, increase attack. You want the yellow one as it lasts 10 seconds, unlike the green one, attack damage surge, that only lasts about 3 or 4 seconds. You'll gain more DPS with the yellow one. And that is it for armor. Every stat is best in slot, so I'll pretty much copy everything to a T. Now for charms, here are mine, nothing too special unfortunately. Charms remain the biggest grind in the games as far as perfecting. You want luck using live weapon on both charms, ideally with attack boost of either yokai close combat damage or live weapon attack enhancement. A god charm would be luck using live weapon, an attack stat, and then ethereal item drop rate AA- or AA+, whatever how high it goes. That would be perfect. Maybe I'll get one eventually. Now moving on to stats finally, here they are. I said screw it, we're all going deep late game anyways, so I went max level from farming Marabashi with Sake and Amrita using the weapon charms and spirits. I got and used this spread for a reason. This is what I consider the ultimate balance spread if you wanted to use any melee build or any weapon. Most weapons scale with either skill or strength, so those are the highest, skill covering more weapons that matter. Since live weapon builds are king, body is kind of useless, so kept it normal. I put higher magic since passing 100 magic gives you an extra jutsu slot, so I have 44 jutsu points to fit all my spells nicely without sacrificing too much. And yeah, just copy this spread if you want. Ultimately though, it doesn't matter. Now here's something different. I'll show my special effects page for you to see what I'm rocking. 307 normal luck, so already high luck. Item drop rate near 80%, slightly more for humans. Near 50% equipment drop rate, slightly more for yokai, and lastly near 200 luck using live weapon, and then an additional 51 luck from being a critical from the set. So as you can see, pretty much 550 total luck on the spot, not including the luck bonus from the Unifier set nor Luckbringer Talisman. You can also gain an additional 100 luck, which I recommend, from the focus level option after you reach 750. 1000 levels gets you 100 luck, and I'd take that over 100 attack or life for any build. Now for spirits, as a surprise, it's Kato. Yes, Kato. No, not Bunny. Kato. I tried Bunny out and it sucks for damage in the Abyss, even with this setup. Not only damage though, but getting hit almost takes you out of live weapon immediately, and Leeching Talisman saps his live weapon bar super fast. So I chose Kato, which gives you way more damage, it's not even funny. You do lose getting over 300 luck using the weapon from not using Bunny though, which if you do get that much, it makes it so you get nothing but divines and ethereal drops, whereas not reaching over 300 luck using the weapon, you will only get, it'll make purple and lower tier rarity stuff drop too. But it's simply not feasible to use Bunny in an efficient way. Like I said, Kato will kill faster, thus you'll get more drops quicker anyways than someone using Bunny. For secondary, again,
Whoa, not Itakuri?
yes, not Itakuri. Wild Spear is death by 1,000 cuts, and that's where Pierce Guard shines tremendously against humans. We do gain a bit of luck too, and honestly at 550 luck, I think I'm good on any more luck. Well, besides our clan, which is Gamo that gives 40 luck, this is preferred over the other one that gives Silver Tongue, as even though the consecutive attack increase sucks, damage is damage, so use Gamo. For Omnio Ninjutsu, here's everything you need. Earth Folding is amazing in the Abyss, Leeching is used for getting into critical, but also for damage, and Super and Catwalking is for easy plane completion to get rid of effects like Sludge, Paralysis, Tarpor, or Status Enhancement Remover. For skills, as I mentioned, my Ryu Hayabusa build, just get everything. There's no point not to get everything with the amount of points you have. Wild Spear is my go-to for living weapon, and outside of living weapon, sometimes I use Celestial Spear for stuff, and Twisting Spear is a nice high damage move outside of living weapon to handle big yokai and stuff, and then stability for the Mystic Art. And that is my Wild Pyro Lucky Spear build. I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you guys get better charms than I had, so you can swim in Ethereals for eternity. But a really fun build, something not Kusa or Itachi finally, which is super nice, and Wild Spear in general is fun to use. It may not kill in one hit like Kusa or Adachi, but ultimately you almost have no problems at all with any enemies or blockers, unlike Living Weapon Kusa. The only ones are Date and Sanada that are biggest pains, but that's for everyone. Maybe Hideyori occasionally for the annoying parry he does. But overall, I had a lot of fun making this, so I hope you guys enjoy it. As I mentioned, this is part 1. Part 2 is a whole different setup, but same tactic, but all towards deeps to be on par, maybe even surpass Perfect Susanoo. We'll see. Look forward to that as my last build I'm making. Sorry everything is living weapon, but blame Team Ninja for the overtuned difficulty and damage everything does to you, to where it's just safer and faster to resort to the weapon for any and everything. It is what it is. Because of the second build I plan to make, Dragon's Dogma, will have to wait a little longer, which by the way, how is it for those playing it? Is the frame rate stable now? Let me know. Again, read the video description for more thoughts on the build and where to get the gear. If you enjoyed this video, wild spear that like button, comment down below with any questions, and subscribe for one more epic Nioh video.